So the motherboard and the CPU have already been assembled. The motherboard and the CPU are unfortunately the most difficult things to put in, and I wasn't able to show you that, but what I can tell you is generally how to put them in. So motherboards fit along with towers. They have a certain configuration. If you see here, there's bolt holes, screw holes rather, and the motherboards will have screw holes as well. And they'll also come with screws. There'll usually be a lot of them, and they'll normally normally package too many. So if you have some screws left over, don't worry about it. So I'll just show you this real quick. Make sure to always ground yourself. So I'm just going to attach myself to the computer. So what you want to do is you want to lay circuitry face up, and you just lay the motherboard in, and you screw these in. Now the motherboard will also have some components sometimes on the side like this. These are the Ethernet cords. This will come in from a slot in the back of the tower. Like I said before, the tower will normally have everything all sealed up, and you can normally just punch them through. You'll want to use some work gloves for that, because this is a metal tower and you will more than likely cut yourself if you do it barehanded. So once the motherboard is set and it's sturdy, make sure it's sturdy, and also always make sure that the motherboard is not touching the other side of the tower. That's bad, heat-wise. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to assemble the CPU. Now the heatsink is on over it, and the way it goes is that there is a chipset there, and the CPU is a very small chip, and you're going to want to make sure that the pinholes on the chip itself will match up with the pins on the motherboard. Make sure it matches up precisely, because if one of them breaks, you have either a faulty or a broken motherboard or a broken CPU. And then there'll be a little door to just shut down, to shut the CPU over it, or to shut the door over the CPU to fasten it. And then you'll put some cooling paste on top of the CPU itself, and it'll be a very thin layer. And then you press the heatsink over it, and there's these 4 screws that you just tighten into the motherboard, and there'll be a power unit. These things will all be described to you in your motherboard manual. Make sure you always keep a hold of this. This will tell you where everything should be plugged in, and will make things a lot easier for you in the process, because you will not, odds are, buy the exact same motherboard as you see here. So always make sure that you refer to your manual constantly. And after this, we will show you how to assemble the hard drive and the CD drive.